The samurai, one of Japan's most celebrated traditions. Evolving over time to meet the challenges of the world around them, they were fierce combatants well known for their prowess in the martial arts and undying loyalty. These traditions live on in Colleen Wing. Born to parents that include a history professor father and a mother whose ancestors were samurai and daimyos. After her mother's untimely passing, Colleen Wing moved to Japan and was taught the ways of the samurai by her grandfather. She displayed true talent, and with training she developed into a world-class fighter with a sharp eye for detail and a mastery of chi. Upon completing her training, she returned to New York and has gone on to fight alongside heroes like Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, and even the X-Men. Colleen has spent a lot of time with Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, and the two have trained together and shared their martial arts techniques. But her strongest bond has been that with the NYPD detective, Misty Knight. In a chance meeting, the women became fast friends and started working some cases together. Now she pledges her sword to defend Nexus Earth, alongside Misty Knight, Luke Cage, and the immortal Iron Fist. Colleen Wing and the all-new Heroes for Hire team have joined Marvel Strike Force. Colleen Wing is a powerful brawler that attacks often through her passive and high rate of counterattack. She applies bleed to circumvent enemies that rely on high health or barrier to survive, and has special targeting against low health and high damage enemies in Alliance War. In addition to being a hero, her traits include City, Skill, Brawler, and Heroes for Hire. Colleen's passive is Daimyo Lineage and is a reflection of her honed martial instincts and mastery of chi. At the end of any Heroes for Hire ally's turn, she has a chance to attack the most injured, non-summoned enemy, ignoring taunt and stealth while gaining deflect. This attack does additional piercing damage for each Heroes for Hire ally on her team. And on War Defense, nothing is left to chance, as this attack will trigger 100% of the time. As long as she has at least 2 Heroes for Hire allies, when an enemy is defeated, she applies offense down to the remaining opponents. She also gains Deflect on each of her turns, and applies Assist to Misty Knight if she's an ally. That part about Deflect is important because when Colleen Wing has Deflect, she also counterattacks and blocks a portion of incoming damage. Finally, she grants herself and all Heroes for Hire allies additional piercing damage. Oh, wait, that's not everything, because Heroes for Hire now have a common War Defense passive that's worth writing down. On War Defense, if Colleen Wing starts a match at full health and has at least 3 Heroes for Hire allies and isn't already charged, she gains 2 stacks of charged. At the end of any turn, if she has charged and is below 50% health, she loses a stack of charge, clears all negative effects, heals for 100% of her max health, gains death proof, and 2 stacks of offense up, and deflect. And if you're thinking, no big deal, my opponents can just focus fire her down, it's gonna take more than that to keep a Hero for Hire out of the fight. As when a Hero for Hire ally falls while charged, they will revive and gain a bonus to damage, damage reduction, and resistance per charge. Time for round 2. Fight! Colleen's basic attack is Katana Slash, a precise melee strike that deals damage and applies bleed to the target. And on War Defense, this attack applies an additional stack of bleed when Colleen counterattacks or assists. Her special ability, Fearsome Strikes, is a high damage combination strike against a single opponent that applies bleed and grants deflect. It also deals increasing piercing damage for each Heroes for Hire ally. On War Defense, this attack gains additional focus and targets the highest damage enemy, bypassing taunt and stealth. And finally, with her ultimate ability, Samurai Flash, Colleen channels her focus and slices through all of her opponents with a single piercing attack that inflicts heal block. Protectors caught in this lightning-quick strike take additional damage and suffer bleed. Oh, and it's probably worth noting that as long as Misty Knight is an ally, Colleen Wing's attacks cannot be dodged. It should come as no surprise that Colleen Wing works best when she's accompanied by Misty Knight and her Heroes for Hire allies, including Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Not only will her attacks be undodgeable alongside Misty Knight, but she has a chance to attack at the end of each turn of a Heroes for Hire ally. As a high damage brawler, a standout ISO 8 class is Striker. She hits hard and applies bleed, so having her follow up with a repeat bonus attack will help break down high health targets. She can also make good use of Raider, as her high attack frequency means she'll greatly benefit from the increased chance to critical hit. Colleen Wing has inherited a samurai legacy and trained to become a master of sword fighting styles and techniques. She is a fierce combatant who strikes quickly and repeatedly to bring high health opponents to their knees. This Daughter of the Dragon now stands alongside her Heroes for Hire allies in Marvel Strike Force.